I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. This is the Billionaire Brown experience. Let's go. I'm ready to go. And this is another Billionaire Brown experience here with Stan Larimer. Did I say it right?
Boy, that was perfect.
Okay, there we go. And today we're going to be talking about what? Cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah, anything you want to talk about.
Anything about cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah, in particular, yes. We can talk about the full...
I mean, you don't have anything to say about the Black Lives Matter movement, right?
Well, if you'd like me to give you an adult Bible study, we can do that.
Okay, what do you have to share with the Black Lives Matter movement?
I guess I don't have much in the way of philosophical things to say about that.
Well, nothing philosophical, but how do you feel about it? Do you feel that there's a need for it? Do you see the social injustice with people of color here in the States? Or?
Well, I have had nothing but wonderful experience with people of color. Maybe I'm blessed by having an environment where those kind of conflicts don't come up, but I simply do not experience that. Every single person of color that I deal with is a friend and a colleague, and really don't experience that. I understand there are places in the country where people do experience that, but I've had nothing but racial harmony.
Were you alive when Martin Luther King was alive?
I sure was.
What did you think about that? Like, was he, because to my understanding, he wasn't too much of a loved person back then. Where are you from, first and foremost?
Well, at the time Martin Luther King was doing his wonderful speeches, it was in Pennsylvania, growing up as a teenager at that time.
Okay. What did you think about it? Did you think, like, were you for it? Were you not for the move, like what he was doing?
Well, my first experience with it was through the lens of the news media that painted him as a radical troublemaker. Mm. So that was my very first experience with him. I have since come to actually take the time to listen to his most famous speeches and understand where he was coming from. And, like many things, my view of the world has changed dramatically from the time that I was a boy, because at that time, riots in the streets and protests and all that stuff, that was just perceived as, troublemaking. But, as we go forward nowadays and understand the way our government has evolved into something that I don't think our founding fathers would be too proud of, the need for that type of thing has gone up, and I've actually taken part on Washington Mall on marches and stuff myself. So,
wait, you was in some marches?
Be good, but
you were in a few marches?
Yeah, I was in a few. Mm-hmm.
What marches were you in? That's awesome.
Oh well, I don't know whether you'll think it's option or not, but I was a Tea Partier. So I was out there protesting government interference in our lives.
And overall, what's the Tea Party about? You don't hear too much about. Most of you hear. Are you still Tea Party or no?
Well, at no time did I actually join anything.
Okay.
But at the time that I was involved in that, we were trying to express the idea that things should not be centralized in Washington, that they should be pushed out to the states. We should have 50 different states with 50 different options for people. And so that was the kind of states' rights kind of attitude that I think is there. And that's very similar to digital currencies, cryptocurrencies. They're all about decentralization, the battle between people that want to make everybody the same. Everybody has to think the same way, has to talk the same way. They have to have the same kind of health care, the same kind of everything. And that compares to the idea that if I don't like what one state does, I got 49 other states I can go to without leaving America. And so the idea of pushing everything up, it always has to, go clear up to Congress or the Supreme Court and force all 50 states to do the same. No, I'd like to see a state one state where marijuana is legal, one state where gambling is legal.
Do you smoke marijuana?
No, I've never touched it.
Okay, so my last question before we get into this cryptocurrency, and this is totally random, but you said ask you anything, so sure. Our listeners love this. So, did you ever believe that you'll see a black president?
Yeah, I didn't think that. Once again, I do not see where I am any difference. I've worked side by side with people of all races and never had that experience. Now, that's just, I'm an engineer, okay?
Okay.
And so the type of personality that engineers hang out with are people who are focused not so much on interpersonal relations or anything like that. We just have a job to get done, and we're out. It's all about inventing something new and exciting. And so in my particular environment, zero conflicts. There are no conflicts in my life. And I know that there's lots of conflicts out there at other places. If the whole world could be like what I've experienced, there wouldn't be any problem. There'd be complete harmony. So there are pockets of places where we've achieved such equality that people don't even think about race.
Absolutely.
Okay? So that's possible, but I understand there's places where people don't experience that same thing.
Okay, so you realize that racism does exist, but in your personal experience, you haven't experienced it or saw it.
Yeah, that is exactly the way. Now, when I talk to the older generation, of my grandfather's age, then there's a lot of careless ways of talking that I have heard from time to time, but never had in my adult life experienced anything but complete racial harmony. That might shock you, but that's certainly what I've experienced.
Motivating you to firm, fit, and fabulous. Here is our company website, www.femmefataleFitClub.BigCartel.com. We are a no-judgment zone, here to help any woman ready to take control of her health and well-being. Here's our blog, www.femmefatalefitclub.com. We offer not only personal training services and virtual fitness programs, we also offer products such as water bottles, a cute inspirational tank top for women that says #NoExcuses, and support across our social media channels. Come join the club. Follow us on Instagram at Femme Fatale Fit Club, or join our group on Facebook at Femme Fatale Fit Club. Now back to your favorite podcast.